Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I decided to take a break from doing some hauls and sit down and chit chat with you guys a little bit. Um, Today I wanted to talk about being a single mother and what it's like being a single mother. I know tons and tons and tons of women unfortunately can relate to the topic. Um, but it's just something that a lot of us go through. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about what it is to be a single parent, the struggles that I have gone through being a single parent, and all that stuff. um, so for those of you who don't know, first let me just start off by saying thank you guys for subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing my videos, sharing my channel. I really do appreciate you guys. The love and the support that you guys give is so phenomenal. So I really do thank you guys so much for that. Um, but yeah, so being a single parent. So for those of you who don't know, I have two children. I have a 10-year-old that will be 11 in October, 10-year-old son, and I have a 1-year-old. Um, I'm sorry, I have an 11-year-old son 11-year-old son, who will be 12. Oh my God, my son is gonna be 12. Jesus Christ. He's gonna be 12 in October. So, and then I have my precious baby girl. She's one. She made one back in March. So that is a long gap, about a 10-year gap of having children. So right there, that tells you it wasn't really um, according to plan, I guess. But anyway, we'll get into that. So I kind of touched bases a little bit about parenthood in one of my other videos, but I wanted to kind of go a little bit in depth. Um, Being a single parent, I got pregnant when I was 20. I had my son when I was 21. I didn't obviously know nothing about children, nothing about babies. I wasn't thinking about kids. I was just really still trying to find myself, let alone having children. So it was very hard in the beginning. It was very hard to process that I was going to be a parent. But it was kind of like what a lot of women do, and what we are inclined with is the ability to just jump into it and do it. So it was one of those, even though I've never known what it was to be a parent, I just got to jump in and do it. And that's pretty much what it was. My son's father, wasn't there in the beginning like he should have been. We were young, but still, I guess his priorities or whatever was more important than taking care of the responsibility of my child. And then he went off to the army. So it was kind of like, okay, here I am, left with a child. I will say when my son was born, he wasn't, there at the hospital, and that was very hard for both of my children. Neither one of my children's fathers were at the hospital, and it's very sad. And a lot of these things I've never shared with the public. So, but I'm being vulnerable because I'm pretty sure, and I know for a fact, a lot of women can relate. And again, my platform is about being honest and being true, and also sharing information that I know a lot of other people go through, and to let them know that you're not the only one. And even if it may look like I got all myself together and things together, trust me, I've went through a lot of things behind closed doors, and are still going through things behind closed doors. So I'm not perfect. So I like to let people know that I'm human too. So he wasn't there at the birth. I wanted, him to be there in my child's life or whatever, but his previous situation was, more important or whatever. And I'm not gonna say that I wasn't an angel. I was doing things that I wasn't supposed to be doing, But at the same time, I was young and I was vulnerable and I was dumb. But nevertheless, regardless of the mistakes that we made led up to the situation, there was a child involved that needs to be taken care of. And regardless of how we felt about each other, that should have been our priority. Then he went off to the army when my son was very, very young. I think my son was still a baby when he went off to the army. So that also, I felt like you made me a single mother. You know, you made me take on both roles and left me with no choice. We didn't have a conversation about it. We didn't talk about him going off to the army, any of that. So it was like I was left, you know, to do it by myself. So I was very hurt. I was very upset. It wasn't a love thing where I was in love with him and I wanted to be with him. If I wanted to be with him, it was because I felt like that was what was supposed to happen. We were supposed to be together to raise our child. But did I want to? I was young. I was 19, 20 when I met him. So it wasn't like I was in love with him and all this other stuff. It was just, I feel like that's what we were supposed to do, I guess. And there's a lot of other factors into the story. I'm not going to go really into details because I'm not trying to put all my business out there, but I'm just giving you the basics. But, you know, so yeah, he went out to the army, tried to make it work as far as him having a relationship with his child. Me and him trying to communicate, and therefore when we communicate, it'll help, you know, him establish a relationship with his son. A lot of ups and downs with that, you know, and he was gone for quite some time, for many, many years, and then it was just an inconsistent relationship with him and I as far as communication, and an insistent what word am I trying to say? The consistency wasn't there between the communication with him and I, and the consistency wasn't there between the relationship with him and his son. So it's been like that on and off for 11 years. And, you know, I do not speak with him as of now. And it's really, really hard to raise yet a boy at that by yourself. And I don't think a lot of these fathers really understand how hard it is, regardless if it's a boy or girl, but especially a boy. But nevertheless, it's really, really hard to raise a child by yourself. And a lot of these, you know, we've had multiple conversations about, you know, child support and this and this and this and things like that. And some men out here feel like, you know, they're doing their duty, they're paying child support, and that's it, that's fine. But I was more concerned about the relationship with my child. I was more concerned. I've stuck my neck out so many times and put my anger and my pride aside to accommodate them having a relationship, whether I respected him or not, whether I felt like he don't deserve to breathe on this earth. And I'm sorry to say that, but that's how hurtful it was and it is raising my child by myself, because I didn't make this child by myself. And I don't care what the situation is, unless that other parent is psychotic and crazy and trying to kill you. You have to learn how to put your differences aside and raise that child together. Because what they don't understand is, you know, moms are getting up in the middle of the night when the child is sick, and she still got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and this child just threw up at 4 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? She got to get up in the middle of the night. She got to take off from work, or take her days off from, take some sick time, whatever, take the child to work. Take the child to the doctor. You know, daycare expenses. My God. Daycare? I'm in the wrong field of work. That's why I should have been. Daycare make money. And to pay that stuff on a weekly basis by yourself, that's hard. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I've never gotten any financial assistance from him, but it wasn't enough and it wasn't consistent. And I'm just being honest. And, you know, I feel like this too. I'm just going to be all the way honest. I feel like, you know, women make sacrifices every single day, whether it's financial sacrifices, whether it's living sacrifices, whether it's motor as far as a vehicle or not sacrifices. Women make sacrifices for their children every single day. So your sacrifices should not mean no more than mine for you to not be able to do what you need to do, and I got to come up with everything. You know what I'm saying? And I say that to say there's been many excuses of why, you know, his father couldn't produce certain things, couldn't do this, couldn't do that. And it's like, look, in his situation, you know, he has a lot more people involved in his situation. And I don't. and I'm still able to make it work. So what's up? What's your excuse? You know what I'm saying? It's things like that that makes it so frustrating. My son joined band. My son did baseball. Those are, especially sports. Those are father and son moments. And I didn't have that. I mean, he didn't have that. And granted, his father lives in a different state. However, you know, I did offer for him to go out there for the summertime. So there were plenty of times he did go out there for the summertime. I insisted. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what I felt about him, I would always pick up the phone and say, hey, are you able to get your son this summer? Whatever, whatever. Drive down there. We meet halfway. You know, I did a lot of things that I stuck my neck out. And I went a long mile further than what I should have to accommodate that relationship for them to have. And I just feel like it's not fair to my son. And also the downside of that is my son not performing right in school. My son not being able to do right in school because he's affected by what's happened. And this is conversations that me and him has had. And then, I found a way. I was like, you know what? We got to change this. Something's not right. My son is angry. My son is going through a lot of stuff. I need to really find a way to have him talk to somebody. So I, had my son go to counseling. And I don't think a lot of parents and a lot of fathers see that. They don't see that side. I don't even know if his father knows he goes to counseling. I think he does. I don't even know. But, my son, has to go to counseling because he's angry inside, and he wants somebody to talk to. And sometimes it may not be easy to talk to me as his mom, as a female, So I enrolled in him to, talk to somebody. And I want to enroll him in programs like Big Brother programs where he can learn and have mentors for male figures. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have a lot of males in my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a lot of men in my life at all. And I don't bring a lot of men around my kids. And so, it's just the only guidance my son has right now is my brother, which is his uncle. But other than that, it's hard for him. It's hard for him as a little boy. And I can't obviously teach him the things that he needs to learn as a young man. And now that everything that's going on in this world as a young black man, there's a lot of things I can't relate to with him. And I don't think a lot of, parents, in particular, a lot of fathers see that and understand that. Or nor do they care. I don't know. But it's hard. It's hard, to not be able to do the things that you want to do, not be able to go places that you want to go because you don't have the money. You have to stretch your dollar because you got to pay for this, and this. It's hard. My daughter, so my daughter's situation is a little bit different. I was obviously much older, had her, last year. And that situation was different between my son's father. My son's father, I was young and dumb. We were, doing things we had no business doing. My daughter's father, that was more a relationship that I really loved and I cared about that man. We knew each other on and off for about 6.5 years at that time. Now it's about 8 years. So that was a little bit more harder for me because I was invested emotionally into that situation. But he is not around either. He was not at my daughter's birth. That was really hard too. And also I want to mention what a lot of people don't understand or care to understand too. When you don't have the fathers around, even during a pregnancy, you don't get those moments where you have the father rubbing your belly and giving you that special attention. You don't have that. When I had my son's father, I can think on one hand when I got that attention from him, that's because we wasn't really around each other a lot. But definitely with my daughter's father, he was not there at all. He was not there from the moment that I became pregnant to the moment of today, which is June 17th, I think. He's never seen her. And it's very, very hard to talk about. This is a very, very vulnerable moment for me. I do not put my business out there. I do not put my life out there. But again, the reason why I'm doing this is because there are a few people that look up to me and a few people that admire what I do. And I want them to understand that I'm not perfect and that I have my flaws and everything just like you do. But anywho, like I was saying, like I said, I'm being vulnerable because I know a lot of people can relate. I know a lot of people have gone through this, are probably still going through this. And like I said, those that, may look up to me or are inspired by some things that I may say or do, I want them to understand I'm not perfect. I don't walk around acting like I'm perfect. I'm human and I go through things just like anybody else. So yeah, my daughter's pregnancy was very, very hard, very, very emotional. I did not have the father support. And that really hurt because that's somebody who I cared about. That's somebody who I truly loved and I went through a lot of stuff with. And for somebody to bail out on you like that, it hurts and it sucks. He's very much aware of her, and things like that. It's just he decides not to be in her life. So that hurts, but I've grown over the years, well, the last year or two since I've had her, since I've been pregnant. Even though it's hard emotionally, mentally, I have taught myself and have came to the understanding that everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. There's a reason why my son's father is not in his life like he should be. There's a reason why my daughter's father is not in her life like he should be. My daughter's father, he's a street guy. And I look back like maybe it's not safe for my child to be around him. I'm not saying like he's, out here thugging and gangbanging and nothing like that, but he definitely lives a different life. It was more like he was a street guy, I was a suburban quiet girl, you know what I'm saying? And he lives that lifestyle. And maybe it's not meant for him to be in his life, in her life. Maybe that's it, because I would probably be scared, where my child is at, what is my child doing, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. So maybe he's not meant to be in her life. Whether he may come around later on or not, I don't know. That's not my responsibility to find out. All I know is it was meant for me to have my beautiful little girl. And I want to say, unfortunately, it was by him, but at the same time, I'm glad I had my child. My daughter is beautiful, and I've always wanted a little girl. I'm glad I had my son. My son is a beautiful, handsome, chocolate little somebody. And my son, anywho, me having a son and me becoming a parent, my son made me grow up. My son, before I had my son, my plan, I wasn't living with my mom anymore. I was living in this house in the city in Chicago, and I didn't know what I was going to do in my life. I was working as a manager at McDonald's at the time, and I don't think I was working anymore at that time. My plan was to get up and move to Tennessee with a girl that I knew. She was a friend. That was my plan. I didn't really have no laid out plan like I do now. I was not, the way I am now was not how I was when I was 18, 19. And of course, you're not the same way. But I had no direction. When I became pregnant, I hated school. I hated all that stuff. I didn't even complete my college education. When I became pregnant and I had my son, it put a force and a drive in me that, look, you're not doing this for yourself. You're doing this for your son. I graduated. I think my son was like 3 or 4 when I graduated with my with my associates. And then I decided to continue on my bachelor's. And honestly, me being a parent really pushed me to do more in life, to have a purpose. So even though I had children by not the ideal men, there was a reason why I was supposed to have kids. I don't know what I would be doing right now if I didn't have kids. I really don't know. I don't know where I would be at, what I would be doing, I really don't know. I don't even know if I will be in the state of Illinois. I don't know. But I try to tell myself that even though it's hard being a single parent, even though you're doing, and I mean, when my kids are acting up, when I am frustrated and I'm doing everything, taking care of all the bills, taking care of daycare, school fees, taking care of clothes and households and all of, when I'm doing all of this stuff by myself and I want to just break down, I have broken down and cried and all this other stuff, I think to myself, it's a reason. It's a reason. Maybe their fathers are not fit to be in my kids' lives. And maybe they are and they just don't want to be there. That's cool too. Because at the end of the day, that's a devil that they have to deal with, not me. And it's sad. I don't know if they for sure feel like that. Their actions to me feels like that. But I can't speak for them. But all I have to say is I'm taking care of my children by myself. And if they continue to choose to not be a part of my kids' lives, that's a demon they have to handle on their own. My kids are going to grow up and be somebody in life. That's why I go so hard with everything that I do, projects that I do, my social media, everything. I go hard because I'm going to set up my kids' life to be successful, with or without a man in their life. And that is my duty. That is my plan. I don't know if their fathers are going to watch this. If they do, I wanted to make a gesture, but I don't want to do that on camera. One of these hands was about to go up. Or one of these fingers was about to go up. But if they watch this, they watch this. If they don't, they don't. I'm not making this video because of that. I'm making this video to say to all my single mothers out there, I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I know it's a struggle. I know you pissed off. I know you mad because he left you with them kids. I know you upset because he left you for another woman and left you with the kids. I know you upset because you don't know how you're going to make your rent. Or you don't know how you're going to pay this daycare fee or whatever the case may be. I know you upset. I know you mad. I know you frustrated. I know you pissed off. Because you can't go out and do what you want to do as far as hang out. Or you can't buy that special dress you want to buy. Or you can't buy whatever it is you want to buy just for yourself because you got to split that up and make sure your kids got this. I get it. I totally get it. I have stretched a nickel and a dime. I have stretched my neck and my arms and my legs to make sure everything is covered. I get you. And I'm probably still going to continue doing that. But at the end of the day, I don't care what situation I was in. I don't care how young I was. I did what I was supposed to do and I had my kids. And I figured out a way how to do it. And I don't regret that. I don't believe in abortions. I don't believe in that. And it's my responsibility too. And I took ownership in my part of it. And it's sad that the other half didn't. My children are gorgeous. My children are beautiful. My children are smart. And I know all parents say that, but I'm serious. And if it wasn't for my kids, I don't think I would have the drive that I have. I don't think I have the passion that I have. I don't think I would have the mindset that I have. And every situation you go through in a relationship is a lesson. In those two situations, that was a lesson for me, especially with my daughter's father. That was a lesson. Not to do that again. It was definitely a lesson. So I just wanted to share with you guys that. I know it's probably a long video. I don't know. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. I wanted to be honest. I wanted to be open. I wanted to be vulnerable with you guys. And just share that. Like I said, a lot of people may have not known any of this. I've never opened up and shared this with people. I've had little spurts and moments, on my Facebook or whatever, but I've never been this open. But I'm only open because it's honest. And it's true. And if I can help somebody else out with this story, and I know I'm doing my job. So, with that being said, I thank you guys for sharing. I thank you guys for coming with me onto this journey. I thank you guys for supporting me. I hope you guys like my story time. I will be doing more story times. If there is something that you want me to talk about, other topics you want me to talk about in a story time like this, let me know. And I will definitely do that. I was also thinking about going live on YouTube and just talking to you guys like I do on my Facebook. But I don't know if I have enough people that would really want me to do that. So let me know if you guys are willing for me to go live on my Facebook. I mean on my YouTube, and just chit chat with you guys. I think about 7 subscribers away from 100. 100 subscribers. Let me tell you something. To me, that just tickled my fancy, honey, because 100 subscribers for me is a big deal within 2 months. I started my channel, I want to say April 17th of this year. So about 2 months ago. Yeah, 2 months ago. 2 months today. Oh my God, today's June 17th. 2 months today I started my channel. That's crazy. Anyway, 2 months today. No, yeah, because it's June. Okay, 2 months today. Sorry. I started my channel and I got 100 subscribers. Some people still have less than that. Some people only have 50. Some people have, 40, 60. I don't know. But I'm 7 subscribers away from 100. And so some people that may not be a lot. But for me, when you jump into a world where nobody really knows you, YouTube is a whole different atmosphere. It's a whole different planet. And it's billions of people out there. And majority of them don't even know you. And so to be able to get that many followings and subscribers within 2 months, I think it's a great thing. I think it's a big achievement, and I'm proud of myself. So hopefully my goal is by the end of this month, I want to get them 7 subscribers so I can have 100 subscribers by the end of this month. So please share this video if you have not already. Like this video, help your girl out. Let me know what you think. Comment down below and all that good stuff. I hope you guys like what I'm giving you. If you want me to give you something else, let me know. Support this channel. Hey, if you want to, donate or whatever to support this channel, support the things I do, all of my cash apps and stuff like that will be down below. If you're feeling generous, if you want to donate, that will definitely help me keep this channel going. Help me, do my hauls and things like that. If you want to, you don't have to. I'm not asking for handouts, but if you want to continue to help support, I take all donations to the Simone Foundation, okay? Alright guys, I will catch you on another video. I thank you guys, and I will see you guys later.